welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode, we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. On today's episode, myself, Ryan, and my stalwart co-host, Faz, is here for Doctor Strange #1. You did read that episode title correctly, everybody. We are continuing in the world of Asgard with not Thor, not Loki, but a different magical man who is going all around the Nine Realms trying to solve some problems while Thor is DEAD for the time being. And
unalived, please.
Yes. We gotta say but the potential of monetization without ever being monetized.
No, not even that. We have to stay hip so that we keep that strong Gen Z audience that we have. Yes, those millions of 22-year-old listeners that love our podcast.
We wouldn't want to right now, we wouldn't want to turn into a very sus podcast, would we, Faz?
No, that wouldn't be very on fleek of us.
No. Ohio Riz, right?
We are so chopped, Ryan. We are so chopped.
I guarantee you more than one person was just like, and I'll check out next episode. But we're very excited to talk about Doctor Strange #1 today from Derek Landy, Yvonne Fiorelli, and the rest of the squad. This is continuing the journey from Strange of Asgard, the One World Under Doom tie-in, and jumping off from the Doctor Strange 450 special that we got a few months back. This comic was something I was really looking forward to for the end of the year, Faz. And on this little episode, it's going to be a little briefer because we're just going to really give you our first impressions. We're going to talk a little bit about the plot, but our first impressions of this. There is a lot of lore in here that we've never touched before because it didn't exist before this issue. And it's a lot of Asgardian magic lore. We are going to do a longer form conversation around that, potentially for the second issue. But we need more people on board. We need Eric and we need Will to help us kind of coalesce our thoughts around one of these big revelations. But as first impressions, and we'll get into a little bit of a plot summary and maybe talk about our few favorite little pieces of this.
Sure. So firstly, I'm trying to decide what my epithet should be when we do Doctor Strange. So obviously we've got the ultimate Phaz when we do Ultimates. We've got the shockingly mortal Phaz for Mortal Thor. I could be the mystical magical Phaz for this.
That's what I was going to say.
If you guys have any sort of advice as to what I should call myself during this and what I should force my co-host to call me, please feel free. Yeah. But starting right from the beginning, the cover freaking slaps, man. The art that we're going to be getting here, it's very Asgard in the way Marvel's doing it currently, and that we've got kind of an Alex Ross-esque cover, someone who's painting and doing it more like realism. And then the interiors are obviously different, but also fantastic in their own way. So got to give big respect to Alex Horley, channeling their best Alex Ross, doing the covers. Yeah. But man, the interiors by Yvonne Fiorelli, I don't know if the right word is anime style, manga style, but I fucking love it.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, are we doing anime? Fantasy, magic, anime?
Yeah, and it's beautiful. There's so much detail. All the characters are very anime-like, which means that they've got some really fun proportions and curves and stuffs to them. Steven looks fun. Everybody's hot, which is a lot of fun. Even spoilers for later in the issue, the bad guy from the issue, he's kind of hot too. They do a really good job all the way through making this just like a really good to look at book. And from covering Strange of Asgard, everybody knows how much we love Landy's writing.
Right.
So you put Landy with an artist that doesn't make me want to claw my eyes out, and I'm just like, holy shit, man. These ravens look amazing. Doctor Strange has so many kind of pin-up quality individual pages where he's just splashing like crazy. Scythe, my girl, is looking great. I'm very happy. Angela, this is one of the best Angela looks we've had, where it's again classic, but just kind of manga style, right? And we're just, it's going to be a lot of fun. The other angels look a lot of fun. It's just, there's so much. I'm in, Ryan.
Yeah. So, again, with Derek Landy, we absolutely loved the approach he took to Asgard, making it a very accessible, making Asgard really fun. in a fresh way. And I think this book is going to be a highlight of the pull list because of how fresh Landy's writing is with these Asgardian characters. But on that note, with the initial thought about the cover, I just wanted to say this gives me like old D&D player manual art style. I think Alex Horley is going to do a fantastic job. We've seen covers at the time of this recording. We know what covers 2 and 3 look like, and they're very much like the old choose your own adventure fantasy books.
Yeah.
I love that. Again, like Faz said, like it's Alex Ross adjacent. It's a very detailed take, but it also has some like roughness to it. It has that worn look to it, which I really enjoy. Very fantasy, very pop, like Pulp Fiction kind of fantasy type, almost like a little like trade paperback you would pick up at like a gas station or something like that. I love that the interior art is completely different than that. Like Faz said, as I'm reading this, I'm like, anime. This the villain that we're gonna meet, he is like Merrick from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
He's like very, very angular. All the proportions are very like cut in, very like harsh, jagged lines. I love it. I think Yvonne Fiorelli is one of my favorite artists working for Marvel right now. And his new Champions book that Eric and I really, really enjoyed, he's just taking that style and bringing it right back in to Doctor Strange, and I really enjoyed his take on Asgard. Vaz, is there anything else kind of like with the aesthetics of the book that we want to cover?
The other thing that's probably worth mentioning is I love how Landy and the editors are picking their artists. So the last Doctor Strange book being a murder mystery, we get a very shadowy artist. We get Carlos Magno, who shines at that like we're in darkness. It's very cloak and dagger, strange, moody. He's trying to solve whatever this is going to be. He's the Sorcerer Supreme now. He's in the light, and he's doing jobs as like the Doctor of Magic for Asgard and the Nine Realms. And we get an artist that isn't as shadowy, right? Extremely detailed, but a lot more kind of like we're going off on a magical anime adventure, and you guys get to be a part of that. And it's just like if Angela's going to be the co-lead of this series, which kind of feels like we're going to do, an artist like this is a fantastic choice to give the anime fight scenes and get to see the magic do all crazy shit. And again, like the first page and the last page of this issue of kind of Strange triumphant and then Strange that we'll talk about near the end when we get there. It's a really, really, really cool style that we're going to love having for as long as they're willing to hang out with us.
Right. I couldn't agree with that anymore. I think this style is going to be good for a lot of action, and the distinction between this and Strange of Asgard, the mini series, being the murder mystery, and we're trying to cover things up, and we're being very we're trying to be covert with some things. Mm-hmm. This I feel like is going to be much more out in the open, and I'm going to give a very, very, I'd be super simplified plot summary because we are going to go into more details, like I said, on a future episode. So bear with us as we kind of scratch the surface on Strange's new status quo that we are very excited about. Here we go. So Strange kind of goofed. Let's just say that by trusting Loki. Thor is dead. Loki is off world now, and Steven kind of has to pick up the pieces. Sif, not that pleased with him, but Steven says, a sentence into this.
You're like 3 pages in, and you're forgetting the best part of the issue, which is Strange getting trolled very hard by Hugin and Munin.
You're right.
The Ravens of Odin are watching Strange try to get back to Earth to help people with this fallout from the One World Under Doom event, and he can't. And they're just like, "You suck, bro. Hey, you, Steven, it's me, Munin. You suck." And he's like, "All right, well, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. Can I help you guys?" And they're like, "We're fucking Ravens, buddy. How are you gonna help us? Go talk to Sif, you idiot." And that's what leads him over there.
I do love that they are the Statler and Waldorf of Asgard. Like they're just there to heckle people.
And I love that, like, post Odin and post Thor, it's like they can't sit on Magni's shoulders. That guy's not going to enjoy. He already has something on his shoulders. He's got a cybernetic robot, right? Cybernetic robot rabbit. So like, we're here to make fun of Doctor Strange and probably eat some seed when we get the chance. And we're currently missing seed, so let's go make fun of Strange.
So Steven goes to talk to Sif. He knows he needs to kind of rebuild that bridge. Rebuilding bridges in Asgard is kind of their thing. Mm-hmm. So Sif says, fine, like, I'm sending you on a mission, and Steven gets sent to Alfheim. Now, he's partnering up with somebody that is familiar with how the Nine Realms works, and this is Angela. There's a few great moments there that I'm sure we'll just reference quickly, but Steven and Angela are quickly embroiled in this standoff between the angels of heaven and the light elves over a coffin that has been unearthed. The angel regent says, hey, I need to look inside that coffin, because if the person I'm thinking is in there, we're going to cut his head off and make sure he's dead. The light elves are like, no. Like, whoever's in that coffin is royalty, and you can't just go in there and start lopping off heads. It's not how it works here. So there's this moment where Steven plays mediator, and he's like, okay, if I can confirm that it's them, can we find some kind of arrangement? He works a compromise between the light elves and the angels, and he says, don't worry, everybody, I'm gonna build a crate, I'm gonna put a protective shield around this coffin, and no matter what comes out of it, it won't like get out and go wild or anything. The queen, the regent of heaven, is even like, whatever comes out of there is not going to be good. So Steven thinks he's got it all under control. Turns out he doesn't, because when the coffin opens up, a new villain named Vyrbodin comes out, and he is kind of a vibe.
He is such a vibe. His first line is, what a time to be alive. Like, he's made for me. I love this guy.
He is this sassy light elf sorcerer who has been dead, supposedly dead for eons. The angels of heaven were just completely decimated by this guy. And the regent queen was the only one that survived. He comes out and starts a kind of a verbal conflict with Steven. And we're introduced to this concept of Scythe magic. Scythe magic, brand new thing for us. I don't even think we have enough time to really give it its due fast.
Very quickly, there's life magic that comes from stuff that happens. There's death magic that comes from, people dying and so on and so forth. And there's this like in between magic, the potential of what could have been done that wasn't done. And it's like being balanced on a scythe, how very specific and fancy you have to be. And that's why it's called scythe magic. It's not, listeners, that he has like a million scythes that he's throwing around using magic. It's more of a it's right. I'm sure he will eventually, but as of now, it's more of kind of an allegory for, I'm the space in between what happens and what doesn't happen. I'm the potential of what could happen, and I'm pretty much the only person who knows how to use it, because it was new when I was young and it kind of died with me.
And in this exchange, Strange, there's a break in the shield, and we see in the background someone running towards the angels. Angel is trying to get in to save Strange. The shield opens up, and we get our secondary villain, who looks like kind of like the dark version of one of the characters we met earlier on in the book, who was I believe the daughter of the Queen of the Light Elves. She's all like, she basically gets like a palette change, and she attacks Angela, and we end the issue with Angela and Strange being faced down by these two brand new villains. And Strange says, actually, Angela, get behind me, because I think I've got an idea. And we see Strange lock into this dark, almost like symbiote null kind of looking magic. It's all red, and it's very like colored like Null's magic is. And we end the issue with that as our last impression, a very dark version of Strange, who says, this is going to be no fun at all.
With a giant smile on his face.
So Faz, we're not gonna be exhaustive on this one. So maybe what, like one or two quick thoughts,
Sure.
first impressions of this issue.
Two very good things about Landy's writing. He knows how to, in 3 or 4 sentences, summarize everything you need to know about a character to keep things moving. The introduction to Angela, there are 2 things that I want to point out. Number 1, Doctor Strange is like, Angela, you are, and she goes, imposing. I am aware, because she's a giant warrior goddess. That's good to know. And the second thing is when he explains the Queen Regent. When she explains that to him, he goes, "Oh, well, who's the rightful queen then?" And she says, "Someone who doesn't want the job."
Want it. Yeah.
And those 2 things are all you need to know about Angela. She should be queen, but she wants to be the warrior. She's essentially Thor, but for these beautiful angels. So I loved those 2 things there. While we're trying to quick hit stuff, I don't know, Ryan, do you think that the shadow angel is the daughter because the queen was so concerned, but you have to stop him for my daughter's sake? Do you think that he corrupted her in some way, or it's a weird kind of magic mimicking her?
So because Scythe magic is this unknown entity that we're just scratching the surface on, I think it could be both, but I think it would be most interesting if the sword wielding warrior that comes after Angela, I would love if that is basically the potential. He's manifesting the potential of what she could have been.
Could be cool.
I think that it would be more thought provoking for me. But the other option is not bad either, because you could do like a mind control thing, a magical control kind of thing,
or even just like an unlocking of the potential, that this is who she was meant to be, and he's now been able to help her reach her full potential, right, which is this evil right hand woman to him. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. I'm hooked. I'm excited to see what happens next. I also love that everybody dies except Strange and Angela. All their heads get lopped off one after another, which leaves us in this fun scenario where, because they're all dead, it's like, well, all of those supplemental characters that we just, they don't matter. Don't worry about that. What matters is it's 2v2.
They were, to use the Star Trek term, they were red shirts on the Enterprise. Completely expendable.
And they were all unnamed too, I think, right? Unless if the Queen died.
Yeah, I don't believe the Queen died. But what's interesting is the Angels of Heaven are a powerful race in the 10 realms.
9 right now.
I think, yes, because Midgard doesn't exist. Earth, never heard of it. But the Angels are not they're not cannon fodder. They are a powerful race of beings. So, I don't know,
man, I just read a 20-page issue that made it pretty clear that they are cannon fodder to these people.
But think about this. If the Angels are a powerful race, then the 2 individuals who have just taken them out also must be more powerful than they are. And I know there's a common thing in comics where it's like, oh, well, you thought that was the most powerful thing? Actually, this is the most powerful thing that can, that thing can destroy planets. Well, this thing can destroy galaxies. This thing can destroy universes. It's one of my least favorite things in comics is that it's the constant upping of the ante. But I like how they used it here. To be fair, the one who's doing all the head lopping off is an angel, and we would buy that Angela could do this, right? So and Angela fights her to tie, so it's not that they're overwhelmingly powerful. She's probably like the second strongest angel who's now being controlled by the bad guy, right? Yeah, if Angela did this to like a bunch of ice giants, we wouldn't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
So my 2 kind of observations right off the bat is how much I love that Angela is back. It gives another recognizable Asgardian character. I know she's from the Spawn universe. One person that's listening, I know, but I don't care.
I know you're here, Rob Liefeld, trying to judge us. It's fine.
We saw what you did to Amora's legs. It was horrendous.
Sad I missed that discussion. Yeah,
it was incredible. It was incredible. Getting to introduce Eric to that piece of artwork was probably one of the highlights of my 2025. But I love that Angela's back. I love that we get her kind of in a very supporting role here, but I have a feeling going forward she's going to be the second. There will be Doctor Strange is the name you buy the issue for, but Angela's kind of the character you're going to stay for. because she doesn't really show up a lot now. There was a run way back when her rights got moved over where she had a limited series and a limited series and a limited series. She really hasn't been front of mind for even Thor stuff. So it's nice to see her show up here. My second thing was that I want to see how Derek Landy continues to build out this very accessible, fun version of Asgard, because I feel like we got it a lot in Mortal Thor issue 4, where Al Ewing told us a one-shot Magni, Ulick, Amora story. It was so much fun. I enjoyed that issue so much, and we've been on a kind of a good little streak here of fun Thor stories, or fun stories from Thor's world. So I just want to see I want to continue to see how Derek Landy builds this out. My interest is peaked.
And the premise of Landy really is like every Thor story you read is really about what like the high table is up to, and nobody below kind of the aristocracy gets mentioned too much. So like, what if we just do an issue in a random bar in a random town in Asgard? Right. What if we just go to the Light Elves and Angela talks about how annoying these peaceful city folk are? And it's like, girl, like that's like heaven. And like, I understand that everywhere you are is heaven because of who you are, but like, come on now, like, let's just like, oh, they're so annoying, so peace loving and friendly. And there isn't a single Grinch among them, says Angela.
Yeah, it's like she's the Grinch and this is Whoville to her.
That's exactly what it feels
like. For those of you we're getting ready for Christmas.
Like I'm surprised she didn't even say something like they don't even have swords here or something like that, you know?
No one's killed anybody today. Darn it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really brief read of the first issue, everybody. I'm gonna read the synopsis for the second issue. And then later on, we're going to have to do more of a deep dive on this. We know that very, very well. So the synopsis, the solicitation that we get for the next issue goes, after the opening of a mysterious coffin plaguing Alfheim, Strange and Angela come face to face with the dark wizard Vyrbodin and his right hand Scythe Riala, a twisted replica of the regent's daughter. As Vyrbodin targets the children of Alfheim to harvest his scythe magic, Strange must move heaven with an E and earth to stop him before his power grows. So fairly informative new solicitation, but we don't know how this is gonna resolve itself. We do see on the cover that Strange and Angela are in a 2v2 situation against these two new villains. So Fats, I'll give you the last word on this issue, and then we'll sign off and get out of here.
I mean, I'm in. I really like the way that Landy writes Strange. I really like the kind of wry smile that everything is done with, the kind of like the puns, the jokes, everybody's witty in a fun way, but they all have their own voice. The art is really working for me. This initial kind of call to action is really interesting, and I'm excited to see where it goes with it. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to be in Asgard for 3 years or 4 issues, but I'm intrigued. I like this, and I'm sure we'll follow it as long as he's in Asgard. And once he goes back to Earth, we'll leave him for the Sorcerer Supreme podcast or something.
Everybody, thank you so much for checking out this brief first impression of Doctor Strange #1 from the amazing Derek Landy, Yvonne Fiorelli, Alex Horley on the cover. Man, it was just a fun first reintroduction to the new status quo for Doctor Strange and Angela. We're very excited for what this book has in store. We're going to do a further deep dive on it, so be looking for that. If you want to reach out to us on Discord, Instagram, or Patreon, please do at the links in the episode description. And until we see you once more on ATB, wherever you are, wherever in the 9 realms, because Midgard doesn't really exist anymore. Whether you are just going around opening up random coffins, whether you are trying to muster up the magic to get back home for the holidays, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, we just remind you to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy.
Whoever holds the possess the powers